Hello everyone, this is Zozo Stockwatch, and I'm just going to go through a quick watch list with you that I have on watch for tomorrow, maybe for the week. I'll be back after the futures open with let's get ready for the week ahead, but I want to see the open on the futures for tonight. They probably should be up since the French election is over and Macron won and not Le Pen. Anyway, so we'll start off with AAOI. And this is a 60-minute chart you're looking at right here. And we have a high here of 56.14. Now, if we get a big gap up morning, all this will change. But currently right now, probably over, 56.14, you probably get a nice continuation move on AAOI. And this is the daily on it with that line that we just drew. Next one up is APTO. And let's take a look at that on a 15-minute chart. So you see it's basing here under $1.30 on APTO. So watch for that $1.30 break. And let me just bring it to a 60-minute chart just to check that out. Yeah, over $1.30. And, you might get a nice continuation on APTO. AVXL, and we're currently on a 60-minute chart again. So we're looking like for a $6.05 break on AVXL. Let's look at the daily right here. So we want a nice continuation move. Not much volume on Friday, but just that the chart is setting up here. So watch for that $6 break on that one. BIOS daily chart over that 175, 180 area for BIOS. And let's look at a 15-minute chart on this. And you see we have R1 here at $1.73. We have a high of $1.78. So if we can clear this 175, maybe wait for that 180 on BIOS. Next one up is BITA, B-I-T-A. And let's look at this on the daily chart if I remember. Yeah, so we had a nice push up to around this 32 area. Okay, and we'll call it, 31.75, 32 area, and we pulled back. So now if we can get back over maybe 28.10, we might get a continuation, bounce back up off the 20 SMA, which is this red line right here. BNTC, this one we're looking for a $3 break on BNTC. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart, see how that looks. Yeah, see on the 15-minute chart, this white dotted line here, that's VWAP. So it hit VWAP and pulled back. It did get through it. So here's that $3 area to watch. That's what I would watch for on BNTC, $3 break. BZH was strong on Friday. 1.2 million shares Friday. And let's see what the high on this candle was. We had 13.59. We closed 13.04. And on Friday we closed high 13.10. This one was from Thursday, and that was 13.59. So watch that 13.25 break on this one for BZH Home Builder. Next one up is CBMX, and I believe this one had earnings on Friday. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Friday. Had a high of $6, pulled back to 540, was up 11% for the day. Let's check out the 15-minute chart. So we popped up to 6, and then we pulled back. So if this can reverse back up, maybe over this 560 area to get back above, VWAP right here, the white dotted. So like 565 or so. Let that set up on an intraday chart. CCCR has been really good to me this week. Got a few trades out of that one. Let's look at it on a daily first. And you see it popped. All right, went up over $3, pulled back, and held the 8 EMA, this blue line, light blue line right here. So it has a low of 212 and a high on that same candle of 242. So this one I'd want it to clear, this 250 area on CCCR. CRC is an oil play, and all the oil plays were getting volume on Friday. I mean, the USO has just been killed, and I'll come back with more of that in the next video. But, they were due for, maybe shorts covering Friday. So if we are going to get a continuation move out of this, maybe over 1260, 1275, and maybe we get this $13 break on CRC. DAIO, I believe, I forget the company or the hedge fund that took a stake in this, DAIO, but that's the reason for the big pop. So we'll see if we'll get a continuation move or maybe a pullback on intraday chart and another setup. So keep this one on watch. Big shares came into it, almost, a million. So we'll see what that wants to do. DELT, D-E-L-T. Usually when DELT goes, CCCR goes, and vice versa. So keep your eye on this one. This had a high on Friday, 268, closed at 255. So possibly, 270 break or 275. We'll look at that on the 15-minute chart. We're up here at R1, which was at 255, and that's kind of where they brought it up to. They closed it at that, but it did pop up to 270. So if we can get over this 260 area, this is the 130 moving average, which is equal to the 5 moving average on the daily chart. So the 130 SMA on a 15-minute chart is equal to a 5 SMA on a daily chart. So if we can get back over that, you see how it's been resistance. Maybe we'll get a continuation move on DELT. FNCX, big pop going into the close on Friday. Has a resistance here, at the $1 round number. Let's look at the daily on this also. So, you think if it can get over this $1 area, it had a high of 99 cents, so maybe 102, 3.5 million shares on FNCX, and it's been getting volume, all week. So keep your eye on this one, FNCX. GEVO. Now this one, let me go to where's my 5-minute chart? Okay, after hours on Friday, this had some news, and so it popped going into the post-market hours on this one. Let me see exactly what time did the news come out. It must have been like right around here. I think it was like around 4:05. Yeah, 4:05. So GEVO, G-E-V-O. Keep this one on watch. You have a high of the $1.22 in the after hours on Friday, and it pulled back to $1.14. But then you see buyers came in. So we'll see what this one wants to do. Might be interesting. GPS. Let me go to the daily, and this is Gap Stores. And as you can see, it's starting to clear this 400 EMA, the purple dotted line. So on Gap GPS, we had a high of 2640. Okay, so if we can get back over that 2640 spot on GPS, let's look at it on a lower time frame. This would be the 10-minute. Let's go to the 15-minute. 15-minute is one of my favorite charts to look at. When I'm looking at charts to see where the next resistance level is. And so let's see, we had about that 2640 area here. So keep your eye, over this 2650. You know how those round numbers can, hold stocks back. So 2650 might be interesting on this GPS. Hawk. As you see, it's holding the 13 EMA yellow line right here. Let's see if this one get over 42 on a Hawk, H-A-W-K. Might get interesting. Been basing for a while. See if it wants to continue up on a H-A-W-K. That's credit services. HOTR, small one, under $1. But look at this volume that came in on Friday, 9 million shares. So I have to think if this can get back over maybe 50 cents, or if you want to try it a little bit earlier, over 45 cents for the 50-cent break on HOTR. Once again, it's under a $1 stock, and this is the 15-minute. So it's a very choppy trader, and it's under $1. It's under VWAP right now, but if we can get over this, 46 cents, 45, 46 cents, maybe even, for this 50-cent break, might be interesting. IPI has been on a tear. It's a bit extended here now. Let's go to the daily on that. But you did have this volume come in, almost 3 million shares, IPI, and had a high on Friday of $2.13. So I would prefer a little pullback here, maybe like to $1.90, and see if we can get a, a push back up. But so keep your eye on this one. A lot of volume on Friday, IPI. LITE last week had earnings, so this one we're looking for the $50 break. You had a high on Thursday of $50.65. We have a high Friday of $49.95, so maybe $50.10 is enough to get this one going on LITE. Gapped up from the earnings, so keep your eye on that one. MEET, which has earnings after the bell on Monday, but nice daily chart setting up here. So maybe prior to earnings we can get a trade out of this, maybe over 612 for possible continuation move. Let's see what this high was right here, 620. So if you got in at that 612 area, you'd want it to take out 620 and then the 625, the natural resistance spot on a meet. But once again, remember, has earnings after the bell on Monday. Monster just had earnings last week and hit this 48 spot, and let's see, we have a high over here of 48.94. We had a high on Friday of 48.10, so perhaps back over 48.10, 48.15 on Monster. Merck daily chart, turning up. If you like to play the bigger, slower names, possible, swing trade in this one. And you see how it held this 62 area on Merck. Next one up is MU, and you see the basing going on here. A lot of semis have earnings this week, and I'll be back in the next video to go over some of the earnings coming up this week. But it does have a high from Monday the 1st of 28.38. We're at 28.20, so if we can get back over that 28.38, and let's see this, let's see what the low of this candle is right here, 28.16. So yeah, if we can get back over that 28.38, you might get a continuation move in MU. NADL with oil making a comeback now, USO. This might be back in play. All right, not much volume, but there was some buying here at the 20 SMA, the red line. It held here on Thursday, and then they got a pop on Friday. So it has a high of 233. Keep this one on watch for maybe the 240 break, 235 area. OHGI popped on Friday. Thin volume here. But interesting if it can get back over, this 250 spot and back over the 200 SMA, which has kind of been resistance. This green line back here, it held it back here, and then here, and also, on Friday. But if we can get over, let's see, make sure this high on Friday was, 257. So keep an eye if this can get over 260, but then you would have to clear that 282. So might be interesting. PDLI, nice chart setting up here, but you can see it's coming up to resistance. This one would have to clear that 240, 235 spot. PDLI, it gapped down. Maybe it wants to, trace back up to at least the 200 SMA up here. So keep an eye on that. PSDV, big volume on Friday, 2.4 million shares. Had a high on Friday of $2, so 202, 204 for PSDV. We've also had a high here, 204. That was back on the 22nd of February. So let's see if this can get back over that 205 spot. And this high on Friday was $2. So 205 might send this, and I'm just curious what this high was here. Yeah, 204, right? And what was this one? 216. So 205, over 204, 205, PSDV. The volume came in. Keep your eye on that. PTX, looking for a continuation move, possibly. Had 3 million shares. This candle has a high of 699. let's see, the low was 552. Let's check our 15-minute chart and see where VWAP was, which is around, let's see, VWAP. VWAP is at 637. So I'm going to say if this can get over 640, maybe it can get a continuation move in PTX. SKLN, I just put this on because all this smaller stuff is running. This is a 15-minute chart, came slamming down. Buyers came in again. If it can get back over 205, the daily chart looks like garbage, but you never know with these little stocks. Can pop at any time, so I'm just keeping that one on watch. Not too high on this one. Snap, here's the daily chart. The high on Friday was 23.25, so over that 23.30, 23.25 area, possibly continuation. Now with this French election, like I said, the futures are probably going to gap up, so you might have to wait for some pullbacks and things to get some intraday plays. But if you want to try to swing, snap it. Let me go back to it. S&P on snap. If you wanted to swing this, you probably use the low of this candle, 22.50, as your stop on a S&P. But they have earnings on May 10th, which I believe is Wednesday. Okay, so don't quote me on the exact day, but 5/10 I do know is the earnings date for Snap. Just keep that in mind. SONS, we're looking for this $8 break on SONS. SPX had some volume come in, but you see the 200 SMA is in the way. So watch it though if it can get over 125, 130 on a SPX. TEL, another oil play, had volume come in. It came down to the 200, hammered there. Let me open this up in case you can't see it. So it came down, hammered on the 200, and then they popped it. So if oil gets a continuation move, if this one can break out, take out 10, might get interesting on TEL. And last one on my watch list is TTD. And high on Friday was 40.28, so 40.30, 40.35 clears that. Has a low of 38.79. And see if we can get a continuation move in this possible swing trade. It's above all the fast moving averages. It's above the 50 blue line right here. So this might be interesting for a possible swing trade on TTD. All right, guys, that's it for the watch list. That's about what 30-something stocks and charts. So I'll be back with my next video in a little while. Going to see how the futures open up. Probably they should open up, pretty strong. And, I'll be back with Let's Get Ready for the week ahead. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. And this has been Zozo Stock Watch. You can catch me on Twitter or StockTwits. Thanks very much for listening.